So there comes a movie, when you watch it and you're like, wow, that was a spectacular film, but you just can't help falling in love with the bad guy. Yep, the hero comes, this, but when the bad guy comes is when the plot comes in, and after the movie you're like, hey, that guy's acting was just dope, or that guy's character was just amazing. Yep, so let's find out about the top 5 most loved villains in Hollywood for a change. Terminator. Yes, in the film Terminator, the Terminator, when the bad guy comes in and Arnold plays the bad role, everybody just fell in love with it. He was supposed to be the good guy, but then he ended up being the bad guy, and everybody loved how his personality was. And you know him, he's got these robotic expressions and robotic movements and everything. So you just couldn't help falling in love with him. So yes, Terminator, the bad guy, everyone couldn't stop falling in love with. At number 4 is Agent Smith from the Matrix franchise. When the Matrix came out, everybody was like, wow, look at that. Of course, it created a new era of action sequences, where bullets were flying, and how Keanu Reeves was just dodging them and all that. But in that came out the bad guy, who started chasing Keanu Reeves. I'm talking about Agent Smith. His look was just like, wow, he was like a kind of an MIB, but then, he's wearing suits throughout. He's got his shades, and then that just look of his sleek hair, and always that serious face. Do not look at him smiling at all and everything. Of course, another villain you just couldn't help falling in love with.
Good evening, Clarice.
At number 3, we'd give it to Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. Of course, this one had to be Sir Anthony Hopkins. This guy was just wow. I mean, after that, they even made a series about Hannibal Lecter, which also was pretty cool. But then in the Hannibal series, especially in The Silence of the Lambs, this guy turns out to be a bad guy. But the way he is so intelligent, you just can't stop falling in love with him. He's intelligent, his personality, how he talks and how he carries himself had to be number 3. Actually, this guy would have been slightly higher, but for now, he's rocking it at number 3.
I am your father.
At number 2 is Darth Vader from Star Wars. I mean, how huge is Star Wars? If you haven't watched Star Wars, then trust me, you haven't watched anything. I wouldn't say join the club over here. His famous line, I'm your father, became huge. And everybody, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what I'm on about. Honorable mentions, I would say, if you look at the Mission Impossible series, the bad guy always stands out. In the Avengers series as well, even there the bad guy stands out. But, they just couldn't be loved that much as these characters. Before you go into the top one, who I'm sure you're already guessing who it is, let's have a word from our sponsor.
My name is Zablon. I'm 3 times Mr. Kenya, fitness freak and a personal trainer. MacCoffee morning gives me the perfect start every morning. It is very fast and easy to make it. I just have to open the sachet, pour it in the cup and add hot water. You don't need sugar or milk or anything else. It is fast, convenient and tasty. Above all, it gives me energy for the whole day. And what's a better way to start my morning? I love MacCoffee morning. MacCoffee, power your now.
And top of the list is, of course,
Why so serious?
this guy just became an overnight sensation. I'm talking about the Joker from The Dark Knight. Yes, Christopher Nolan combined pretty well with the late Heath Ledger, and they did something which I think nobody can ever replicate, duplicate, whatever. There's only going to be one Heath Ledger and one Joker which everybody's going to fall in love with. The Joker from The Dark Knight, this character was like so consuming that they even say that it was one of the cause for his depression and why he committed suicide. I mean, God knows the truth over here, but how he worked on it. He actually used to lock up himself in the room and try different types of laughter. But how Christopher Nolan just portrayed him out, before he comes, just from the music, that dark screeching music.
Beautiful, like you.
you can just sense that the Joker is coming. Look, everywhere. I mean, this was one a movie in which, you know, the Batman was nowhere. It was all Joker. Everybody was just looking and waiting for this guy to come up, you know, with his green hair, his sleeky smile over there, you know, and the dialogues, you know, up to date, like everywhere you go, the Joker's dialogues are carried, and I think it's going to be an evergreen character. Of course, the new Joker has come out, and you know, it's getting, critics are saying that it's not balanced up to that one, but we'll save that for another episode. As for now, the top of the list is the Joker from The Dark Knight. So that's it, guys, our top 5 villains you can't just stop but falling in love with. If you have any favorite one, do comment below, like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. It's the SK Show, probably brought to you by MacCoffee. Power your now.